for that, the regime decided to kill me. I am a survivor of 1 kidnapping plot and 2 assassination plots here on US soil. Last week, I have faced my would-be assassins, but it was scary. I was nervous. Yes, it was not easy for me. But because of the support from a lot of friends, activists, dissidents, I needed it. I looked into their eyes, I stared them down, and I testified against those who were hired by the Islamic Republic to kill me. They were convicted. So I'm here to thank Renewed Democracy, to thank RDI, to thank all of those amazing friends from all over the world supporting me and empowering me to face my would-be assassin, because I couldn't do this on my own. So I want now you to join me, because we have to think about if dictator can hire Russian monsters to kill a woman like me on US soil. Next time, they can target any of you who dare to challenge tyranny. Sometimes I feel like, am I going to be safe if I go out? Sometimes I say to myself, can I help people? Can I invite people to my house? These are the questions that me, in America, have in my mind after surviving assassination plots. But you know what? I don't want to live in fear. I want to hug you all. Right now, I really want to hug you. This is how I overcome my fear. I go to the street and I hug people. Because I love my life. And I enjoy my life. And I don't want to die. And I don't deserve to die. So please join me. You can use your own social media. You can call your congresswoman. You can do a lot to ask the US government to stand with me, to stand with all of us who say no to dictators and transnational repression. And do not ever let dictators put the fear inside your heart. So please stand with me.
I'm proud here tonight to call Edmundo Gonzalez Urrutia and Maria Corina Machado are heroes of democracy.
Venezuela's strong anti-Nicolas Maduro has claimed victory for the third term, despite exit polls showing challenger Edmundo Gonzalez ahead by more than 30 points.
The family says goodbye to a 15-year-old who witnessed the protest against the incumbent president Nicolas Maduro.
No podemos ver nada, tengo a toda mi familia muerta. Y ya me toca irme a mí también, pero no quiero.
This is an election, unfree and unfair.
That's good for
A dictator plotted to deceive the world.
Government so far refusing to release the detailed official resolution to back up its claim of victory.
But the Venezuelan people were one step ahead. Two fearless leaders risking their lives for freedom. Please welcome RDI's 2025 Heroes of Democracy, Venezuelan President-elect Edmundo Gonzalez Urrutia, and opposition leader Maria Corina Machado.
Dear friends, I thank the team of the Renewed Democracy Initiative, Garry Kasparov and Julian Einstein, for bestowing this award on me and Maria Corina Machado. I accept it on behalf of all the Venezuelan people, the people who express their sovereign will to live in freedom and democracy in the elections of July 28. our strength is in our hearts and our minds. We will fight until the end to regain our freedom and democracy. With the valuable support of our international allies, we will prevail in our sovereign will against the criminal who today oppresses Venezuela and seek to show chaos everywhere. That is why, my fellow citizens, the vast majority of Venezuelans are the true heroes of democracy in this story. Thank you.
Dear friends from Venezuela, I want to thank the Renewed Democracy Initiative, Garry Kasparov, and Epstein for this incredible honor which I received together with the President-elect González on behalf of the brave Venezuelan people. A sincere recognition to all the brave political dissidents on the front lines of freedom, to whom RDI provides a model for democratic change. My warmest thanks also to all our colleagues in the Venezuelan Democratic Opposition and Venezuelans who are also part of this network. As I said before, this is a recognition to the millions and millions of anonymous heroes in our country that deserve this award, my fellow Venezuelans, that are facing a brutal tyranny supported by extra-hemispheric powers and are standing still and fighting united together. They have shown incredible resilience and civic resolve over more than 2 decades in face of this brutal tyranny. This is an autocratic regime that has destroyed every single institution and transformed itself into a criminal organization. In this evolutionary race between democracies and autocracies, the Venezuelan people developed innovative tactics, and you have proved that with your huge victory on July 28. In this way, Venezuelan civil society is now one step ahead of this criminal regime. Although this struggle has not reached yet its final goal, we're getting closer every day. We are winning this struggle because our people get stronger in the face of the great obstacles and difficulties. We hope that our upcoming success can be an inspiration to all defenders of liberty who face overwhelming odds around the world. We are all together in this common struggle against the enemies of freedom, wherever they are. The truth is that no dictator is so entrenched that he cannot be removed. You know that despite the worst of obstacles you may face, you always, as the people's power, can restore the natural rule that you believe on. This is what Venezuela is committed to, and we are determined to go ahead until the end. Venezuela will be free. Thank you.
To surrender to tyranny and remain unwavering in their defense of democracy. I stand before you on behalf of my mother, Maria Corina Machado, who has dedicated her life for this fight. And for this, she has been barred from leaving Venezuela for more than 11 years. And today has been tracked down by the government. And this is why she's not here tonight with us. But the triumph of the Venezuelans on the July 28th presidential election was an act of remarkable courage, resilience, and love for freedom. Despite immense risks, millions of Venezuelans went out to the polls and delivered a decisive victory against the dictatorship of Nicolás Maduro, with 70% of the vote against his oppressive rule. But this victory was not just about the results. It was about the historic civic organization and movement that was behind it. Hundreds and thousands of small communities, civilians, and poll workers spread out across the country and risked everything to defend the vote and protect the electoral process. And the result was that more than 85% of official electoral ballot sheets were retrieved, safeguarded, and scanned for the world to see. Just hours after the polls closed, every single one of you in this room could go online and be witness of the undisputable verdict delivered by Venezuelans, and that Edmundo González Urrutia is our rightful president-elect. Venezuelans defied fear and proved that even in the darkest of times, courage and resilience will prevail. But what followed was not a peaceful transition of power, but a brutal and unrestrained campaign of terror and repression by the regime. Every single Venezuelan who actively defended one of these tally sheets is today either in political asylum, in hiding, imprisoned, or dead. Today, more than 900 political prisoners remain in Venezuela, unlawfully detained in one of the regime's torture centers. That is more or almost 1,000 families turned apart, human rights violated, futures torn. You see, the fight for democracy in Venezuela is not abstract, it is deeply personal. Our president-elect, our rightful president, has been forced into exile. And my mother, Maria Corina Machado, has been in hiding for more than 8 months in Venezuela, in complete isolation and with constant threats to her life. Yet she, like many other Venezuelans, refuses to give up. We won't give up because we stand for something far greater than ourselves. We stand for the future of liberal democracy and the sovereignty of nations. Our fight is for human dignity, the reunification of families, and the future of our generation. You see, when you fight for the soul of a nation, resisting is not an option. It is a moral obligation. And in Venezuela, we will see it through until the end, until we are free.
Down 42nd Street at the United Nations. The US is downright chummy with dictators in Moscow and Beijing and hostile to democratic leaders from Ukraine, the European Union, and Canada. That is, unless the administration is making an argument to annex Greenland. If that is the case, they'll readily talk about how Greenland supposedly needs American protection from Russia and China and package it all in a made-for-Twitter propaganda video. Well, as Orwell reminded us, Oceania has always been at war with Eurasia. The truce is not going to be a break here. This isn't a battle that is going to be won by tit-for-tat fact-checking. Almost half of this country doesn't trust the fact-checkers anyway, and sometimes it's hard to blame them. After all, if it were politically convenient, some liberal media pundits would tell you that I don't have a Russian accent, just a child with stutter. This is bigger than any petty political debate. It is a matter, first of all, of telling the story of what we are fighting for. And we need to tell that story confidently, proactively, and with pride. Because if you do not love your country, then you will not be able to carry the fight. It is the layers of bad faith and the very real flaws. You need to be able to find what makes your country great. But a story is not enough. It is a complement to a strategy. And that is something that pro-democracy camp is missing. RDI is perfectly positioned to offer this kind of insight to the pro-democracy community. We don't have the liability of political party affiliation. We focus on the fundamentals, the rule of law, our institutions, the defense of frontline democracies. Today, RDI launched the Next Move, a new media platform on Substack that unites a bold story of freedom with a clear strategy. If you are looking for reflexive partisan criticism, the Next Move may not be for you. But if you want an honest playbook for the next 4 years, then there is something for you there. We want you to join us in charting this new course. And you can do that by supporting RDI, subscribing to the Next Move and sharing it. Look in your programs and scan the QR code for more info. Now, laying out the story, the strategy is essential. Because democracy today faces an existential crisis. Saying so is no longer a marginal opinion. The problem is that the crisis too often begets fakeness. Too many in the free world are approaching what is happening now as the new normal. They indulge their sense of resignation. But when you face an existential threat, the appropriate response is not despair. It's urgency. The urgency of making sure Americans hear from those who know dictatorship firsthand what is on their line. The urgency of bringing essential aid to Ukrainians fighting to protect the entire free world from the international alliance of dictators. The urgency of making the case for freedom on Capitol Hill. That urgency permeates all of RDI's work. But we cannot do it alone. We need your support. Like so many others who grew up behind the Iron Curtain on the wrong side. American democracy, American values, American institutions were my North Star. Next year marks 2.5 centuries since the signing of one of the greatest documents ever written, the Declaration of Independence. If next year's momentous anniversary is ultimately a waypoint on the road to American decline, it will have been a choice we all made. But there is another choice. Commit to RDI mission. Commit yourself to this work. And the 250th anniversary of US independence will be a turning point. The first chapter in an American democratic renewal that shines the light of freedom into even the darkest corners of the planet. 10 generations have passed that torch down from the founders. Now, it is our turn. Thank you.